but the way conversations are picked up and put down and the way topics are introduced is so forced and hand-fed. I mean, the writing here, I found specifically, and I'm sorry, I hate to use the word, man. I hate to use the word, but cringe? I mean, hearing is believing. Go ahead.
Please listen. You're not alone. Whatever's out there, we'll face it together, I promise. Together.
I could kiss you right now. I'm going to kiss you right now.
Dragon Age the Veilguard apes the most superficial elements of a BioWare game, making no effort to modernize what is a now fairly dated formula, while delivering absolutely none of the writing, characterization, and imagination that made its previous games so great. The writing is frankly terminal. It lacks any nuance or wit or wisdom. It cannot communicate ideas except to say them aloud to the camera. It manufactures petty, unbelievable tension because it doesn't know how to create anything more real, and it's too scared to ever be truly confronting or dark for fear that it might make the audience uncomfortable. Every interaction between the companions feels like HR is in the room, and every interaction led by the main character, Rook, sounds like he's addressing an under-12 soccer team before a semi-final, or teaching toddlers how to properly share toys.
So I spoke to a few BioWare devs. One of them definitely no longer works there anymore, but they had plenty to say, and I wanted to relay this information to you because I want to chronicle how things got this bad. And I'm told it was exactly when the first Gamergate happened, which was 2014, the same year that Inquisition came out. This has, of course, evolved over time into what we now call Gamergate 2, which is still raging on as we speak. But this is when I'm told BioWare really changed their gears into we need to pander harder mode. Originally, as I was told, BioWare wanted to reject what the social justice warriors that were infiltrating these studios wanted to happen. People like Anita Sarkeesian at this time were all of the rage with her feminist frequency nonsense, and demanding that games adhere to a more pro-woman, anti-man, specifically white male agenda. And like I said, BioWare initially was against this 100%.
Pounding that snake's nose, she's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties, I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it, sorry.
What are you doing?
Pulling a barb.
Oh, okay.
Bad blood among your crew's not good for morale, but there's not always time for big drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right.
Now, like the narrative and like her doing push-ups because she she used the wrong pronouns. Yeah, it's really stupid. They did nerf her boobs. I think they did.
Any reason you can't just apologize?
Sometimes people say, oops, sorry, and hope that fixes it, but they just want to get the whole thing over with. But pulling a barb, you sweat a little. Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
what if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make it about them. Oh, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barb puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
I cannot wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be such a good day for me. I'm going to wake up early. Gender identity options. Oh my, here we go. Establishes transgender identity and unlocks new dialogue options in future conversations. I love who I am. It feels good to see the real me. Should I do it? I mean, every single option makes me transgender. There's no option not to be transgender. It says this makes me trans. This one does, and this one. I don't know why I have to be trans, guys. Feels good to see the real me.
It took a while for me to figure out why the face staring back from the mirror felt wrong. But once I was able to be honest with myself, it was a relief to figure out I was trans. And it's worth it to look in the mirror today and see the man I am staring back.
What's this dialogue? It's not dialogue, it's a sermon.
What is going on YouTube? Dragon Age, the Veilguard. I don't give a fuck about Dragon Age. I never played Dragon Age before, but I'm talking about it because it's a hot topic right now. Yeah, that sounds grifty as hell, but the reason why I'm interested in this and why it kind of intrigued me was because this is something I've been talking about for a long time on my channel here and there. I don't want to consider my channel an anti-woke channel, but like the Godfather said in part 3,
just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Not just because it's a hot topic, but I care about this because I care about entertainment. I care about video games. I'm a gamer. Studied film in university. I've always wanted to be into entertainment, whether it be video games, movies, animation, whatever, you know? I love telling stories. I love consuming stories. And seeing what's happened with Dragon Age, even without playing the previous games, has made me realize how badly we've fallen, you know? You can see the problems, you can see the symptoms, you can see the causes of this virus that is fucking this up, and you keep telling people again and again and again, not just me, now a whole bunch of people have come out and said this again and again and again about how much you're ruining our entertainment. And Dragon Age is starting to wake people up, I feel. I watched Skill Up's review, the entire thing. I heard about what happened to Matty Plays. I heard about Luke Stevens not getting a review copy. And the reason why I mention those 3 people in particular is because those people are probably the most down the middle, straight up, avoid any kind of woke, anti-woke talk kinds of people you'll find on the internet. And if you watch Skill Up's scathing review of Dragon Age, you'll find that he said the game was woke without saying the word woke, basically.
Every interaction between the companions feels like HR is in the room.
And how stupid it was. The characters are vanilla as hell. They have no edge to them. There's no conflict. There's no depth. Everyone is bland as hell. The character designs look cartoony and stupid, like it's from Shrek in 2003. There's no realism in their models. The character creation has a bunch of 2024 Californian shit, as a certain Hill vs. Babyface would say. Game set in medieval fantasy world with 2024 modern day bullshit in it. No imagination, no world building, just put 2024 Californian shit into it. And this Dragon Age situation is just one of many, many diseases that's infected entertainment today, and it's a perfect example. And the fact that Matty Plays, Skill Up, Luke Stevens and people like them are speaking up about this is crazy. They may not be using the word woke, but that's what they're saying. And when they're starting to notice, you know it's a problem, because it means finally you're seeing the evidence that we've all been seeing already early. Anti-woke people have been seeing this shit early, but now you're finally seeing the evidence from these quote-unquote normies that this mentality, this ideology, these hiring practices just doesn't work for good quality entertainment. Again, not saying that anything other than straight, white and male can write good quality stuff that will entertain any kind of person. But the problem is you're not hiring for talent anymore, regardless of gender or race or whatever. You're hiring because of their gender and race only. This is the result you're going to get. Something like Dragon Age Veilguard, where it's just absolute and utter gutter trash.
Gutter trash.
Like, these are the review scores from all these publishers and journalists. 4 out of 5, 8, 8.5, 9. These review scores are better than what they gave games like Wukong, Stellar Blade, Dragon Ball Z, Sparking Zero, games that everybody loves, even Silent Hill, I'm sure. Silent Hill 2, and they gave this game 10, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9.5, 9.5. What is that?
They make them noises just to put fear in the opponent's heart. That ain't nothing. That's a nigga making that noise with his mouth, and if you fall for it, that's you. I'ma eat it.
I'm not going to react to it now, but Jade Concept goes into it about how they're shill. They're paid to do this. Maybe that's true, but I think partially they share the same ideology. The fact that most of these people are white as well.
Games have been important to me kind of my whole life.
I've always been interested in interactive storytelling.
I like working with a bunch of different creative people to create something bigger than ourselves.
We get to solve a lot of
creative, challenging problems.
I come in every day knowing roughly what I'm going to work on, but not exactly how I'm going to solve it.
A lot of them maybe could be black, but the fact that most of these people are probably white as well, and they share this weird woke ideology where they think they're being progressive, but really they're being regressive as hell and racist as hell because everything is based on identity. They're literally behaving like the Nazis they claim to hate because Nazis, for them, everything was based on identity. I'm sure there's a lot of people that also work there that think this stuff is stupid, it's garbage, but they need to pay their bills, they need a steady income, and they got to just toe the line and just go with this shit. They don't want to have a meeting with HR because they said, this sounds a little bit too, they can't, I'm sure that if you said the word woke, they'd fire you on the spot in some of these places. So not everyone there is probably like for this shit, but the powers that be is, and they just have to toe the line and drag the fuck along.
The importance of representation on the screen for people is a really big deal.
Yeah, anyway, I was watching another video. The title of the video was called How Dragon Age the Veilguard Was Ruined by Women and Canadians. I don't know about the Canadians part, but I'm sure not all Canadians would make Dragon Age, but that video is quite interesting. I'd recommend to go check it out. It's so easy to see that title and think misogynist, sexist. I've said it so many times. But when it's true, and it's just a generalization, basically. Not all women are bad writers. Not all Canadians, clearly, are gonna write some stupid, annoying, postmodern bullshit crap in something that's set in medieval fantasy world that's already had a pre-established law and history that people care about, right? But the issue is, I've made this point on my channel before, hiring feminists, women, woke people to represent your game, to represent what they believe is stupid in a game that's set in a medieval fantasy universe. Now, I know what some people that may have criticisms of this are thinking. Oh, but what do you mean? Why can't it have current day stuff? Why can't it have stuff that people believe in, people's political beliefs, people's ideologies? Why can't they use that to help shape the story and their creativity? Because that's what it's been like since the beginning of stories, since the beginning of art. Art is shaped by the person, right? So why is it wrong when it's something you don't agree with or believe in? That's a good question. And I've got an answer to that question. A lot of people don't really talk about it. They just say this is woke. They just say this is trash. They just say this is not what I'm used to, so this is crap. But there's a deeper thing here. And the simple answer is, long story short, is talent. These people don't have no talent. And I'll get into it right now. You've got people like George R. R. Martin. You got people like J.R. Tolkien. You got people like flipping J.K. Rowling. You got Hideo Kojima. Hell, even Cliffy B that made the Gears of War franchise. You got all these people from yesteryear that made all this stuff. Now, you could argue all those authors and developers and artists, they all inserted themselves into their work, but it was okay because you agreed with the politics at the time. But today you don't agree with the politics. So now you have a problem. Well, it's not that simple because while they did insert their politics, their beliefs, their ideologies into their works, they also had one very key thing that prefaces all that: talent and passion. And I'm not just talking about talent and passion for their ideologies and their beliefs. They have talent and passion for the craft, their work, telling a story. Ironically, those people have more empathy than all these people that claim everything they're doing is for empathy and progressive reasons. J.K. Rowling, J.R. Tolkien, George R. R. Martin, all those authors from yesteryear, all those creators, all those artists I'm using an example of, they all have more empathy because they could see characters and they can see stories, they can see things outside of themselves to a certain extent. Obviously, it's limited. You're only one person, you're only one human being. There's only so far you can see without doing some crazy research. But they could see outside themselves to write stories from a perspective that people could understand and see it and relate to it, even though they weren't living that exact life. J.K. Rowling is a great example. She wrote Harry Potter. Harry Potter is a boy, J.K. Rowling's a woman. But Harry Potter still showed traits of what being a boy is like. It may not have been perfect. Maybe there's certain things they could have added that maybe J.K. Rowling won't understand about being a boy or whatever. But she got it pretty right considering how successful that is with men and women. You know, yes, Harry Potter has a more bigger female fan base, I would say, but a lot of men enjoy Harry Potter and delve into the world, delve into the lore, because J.K. Rowling is kind of a nerd herself if you hear how she comes up with these characters.
I like reading a book where I have the sense that the author knows everything. They might not be telling me everything, but you have that confidence that the author really knows everything. This is 10 years' work. As you can see, I file meticulously, and I know where every single piece of paper is. So this is the name of everyone in Harry's year. And all these little symbols mean what house they're in, how magical they are, what their parentage is, because I needed this later for the Death Eaters and so on, and the various allegiances that would be set up within the school. I like this. This was 98, and this was me trying to find words for the Dementors, so I have all these Latin words written all over the inside of my diary. I used to cover just about anything with writing, as you can see. I must have got through 15 different alternative chapters of book one. The reason for which I discarded each of them were they all gave too much away. And again, I don't want you to come too close on this. That is the history of the Death Eaters. I drew a lot of pictures. I drew them for no one but me. I just wanted to know what the characters looked like. So anyway, that was Argus Filch. No prizes. Snape, obviously. That is Harry arriving in Privet Drive with Professor McGonagall and Hagrid and Dumbledore. That was a Gringotts cart.
There's a passion there. She loves writing. She loves the craft, right? The problem with these Dragon Age Veilguard people and their and people involved in the game industry, people trying to get their fingers into all this shit, they don't have a passion, they don't have the talent, they don't care about writing, they don't care about stories, they don't care about structure, they don't care about any of that shit. All it is just the ideology.
The importance of representation on the screen for people is a really big deal.
George R. R. Martin, all of them lot, they have the ideology, they have the beliefs, they have the political beliefs, but they also have the talent and everything else that comes with it. These people only have the ideology, and it's clear, and they keep getting hired. Maybe they say the right things in their interviews or whatnot. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it started, where they keep hiring these extreme people that give you horrible scenes like the one from Dragon Age, where the woman's doing push-ups because she misgendered someone, and that's something that's normal. Where they have top surgery scars in a world where magic exists and you can change to any gender you want.
He, him, she, her, and they, them, and then your gender is man, woman, non-binary. Love that. Love the inclusivity. Top surgery scars are also included in this for all of our trans and non-binary rooks out there. I absolutely was blown away by this. It's beautiful to see the inclusion in the game and to see yourself represented.
Ew.
They had the same issue with the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, where they just forcibly included a trans character to appease the J.K. Rowling critics, which doesn't even make sense why somebody that's transitioning would appear to have some masculine features and traits in a magical world where you can just click a finger and look like a perfect version of that gender. That's not what trans people would do. They wouldn't want to look like a man dressed like a woman. They would want to look like a pure biological woman if they're transitioning and have access to magic. And that goes the same with this. Why would you have top surgery scars? You know, it's just stupid shit that completely throws you out of the world and the game. Like, the idea of someone wanting to be a woman isn't completely crazy alone. That idea alone isn't completely crazy. But in a world of Dragon Age, you would use magic, you would use all these kinds of things to do that in their universe. But they have to include the little cosmetic, silly details from our universe, almost like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge to journalists and people that's in the in-group of whatever they're doing, almost like it's high school or something. And the guy that I was watching, Keed, he made a great point. I've made this point before on my channel about Batman and women. The study that Lego did about how boys play with Batman differently than women do. And let's finish up the video with this.
Lego actually commissioned a study on gender differences in play when they were developing the girl-focused Lego Friends line. And one of its main conclusions boiled down to this: boys want to be Batman. Girls want Batman to be them. Basically, if you give a boy Batman, he'll want to learn all of Batman's tools. He wants to talk like Batman, think like Batman. Boys prefer construction-oriented, narrative-driven play, focusing on building structures, vehicles, or scenes from the Batman universe. The girl, on the other hand, wants Batman to go shopping, bake cookies, and take care of babies. There's often a noted inclination towards more social or relational play. If playing with a Batman set, a girl might create scenarios where characters interact more socially, or use the pieces for storytelling that isn't strictly action-focused or even related to Batman at all. Now, if you apply this to Dragon Age, everything starts to make sense. The art design, the wholesome Chungus tone, the modern values forced onto Dark Age fantasy characters, and especially the sex scenes.
This isn't even some woke, anti-woke propaganda crap. This is Lego doing a simple study, right? It just goes to show you exactly what the issue is here. Now, is this to say that all women are going to make Batman, you know, drink out of a teacup? That a woman can't maybe put her unique perspective to maybe say something a little bit different about Batman while still staying true to his characters and true to the source material and true to his history? No, it's not saying that. It's not saying that that's going to happen every time. But you have to hire the right woman for it. You have to hire a woman that's actually passionate, got a bit of a nerdiness to her. Honestly, without sugarcoating it, you have to kind of gatekeep this shit. It's not so much you see a woman that comes in for the interview and you throw her away because she's a woman. We want a man for this. That's what they do. What you do is you sit them down, you ask them questions, regardless of what they look like, what gender they are, anything. You ask them questions, you see if they're passionate about the product they're making. And if they don't know everything about it, you see if they're willing to learn and they care to learn about the universe and do something with it. That's all you have to do. But for some reason, these not even developers, these executives or these DEI BlackRock people, that I've seen that they want to force agendas. I don't know why they want to do that, but whatever. These people just don't give a fuck about that. Hollywood don't care about that, and I don't know what it is. And we've been saying it over and over. People are starting to wake up though to it, and maybe the pendulum's going to start swinging soon because so many people are talking about this, which is great. Only few people were talking about this back in the day. Maybe things will start changing now. When you got people like Matty Plays and Luke Stevens and Skill Up basically calling everything woke without even saying the word woke, when it's getting that bad, you know it's time for a change. What's really irritating, just to finish up on this, is the idea that it took this level of stupidity, it took this level of arrogance, it took this level of incompetence to get people like Matty Plays and Skill Up to start talking about this at a level where they just can't take it anymore. I don't know if it's because they're white guys. No, I know there's some white guys that they're not scared to talk about this shit. It's just frustrating it had to get this bad for them to start talking about this shit and realizing, whoa, there's a problem here. This quality is really, really bad, and we think we know why. I want to end all this kind of stuff with solutions. And it's simple, really. We did it before. We need to start doing it again. Hire people based on merit. Hire people based on talent. Hire people based on passion, which is a very important one. Like, even someone as talented as Martin Scorsese, you don't hire him to make a Marvel movie because he doesn't like it. He's not passionate about it. Maybe if he did like it, with his talent, he could do something interesting with it. But he's clear he doesn't have passion for it, so he's going to trash it. You don't hire Todd Phillips to do a sequel to the Joker movie if he ain't feeling it. He made the first one good, the second one's trash because he didn't have the passion, even though he's got the talent. These people don't have the passion or the talent, and you're hiring them because of what they have between their legs, what they look like, and what kind of bullshit ideology they can talk about what's between their legs and what they look like. So that's the answer. It's not even that difficult to get good quality content back. Get people that care about it. That's all it is. It's not even hard. But I think the hard part is just cleansing all these people out of the community, of the genre. That's going to be the hard part. But with time, it can work. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the whole Dragon Age, Veilguard situation. I just wanted to get my thoughts out on it. I just hope shit gets better. But for now, you got to vote with your wallet, speak with your voice, tell them this is why I don't want this trash, and buy the good shit that you know is actually serving the purpose of telling good stories, trying to entertain customers, trying to please the consumers, and trying to just create art. Fund those things. Don't fund shit like this. I don't even want to play it to review it because I don't want to give them any kind of semblance of money. That's my video on this Dragon Age of Veilguard shit and how it affects just the entertainment industry as a whole. But there is some good out of this, like from the annoyance of how the game is and how this affects other things that are like it. There is some good out of it with people like Shill Up. He's now Skill Up now. No more Shill Up for Shill Up. It's for Skill Up now. People like Skill Up, Matty Plays, people like that are coming out and, you know, maybe not calling it woke, because woke is kind of overplayed, to be honest, but actually saying this is bad and it's bad because these people have no talent. They didn't say it in those words exactly, but they're basically saying it. And yeah, hopefully this fixes things in the long run. We'll see. But anyway, that's my video. If you liked it, please give me a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for notifications, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.